Well, we did not see our first team clinch a playoff berth, but we did see our first team get eliminated from playoff contention. Let's go ahead and dive into these Week 13 games and see where we stand. We're going to start things off with Seattle versus Dallas. 41-35 Dallas win on Thursday Night Football. And this was really a good game. Both offenses looked great. My biggest concern out of this one comes with the Dallas defense. Seattle's offense has potential, but they haven't been living up to that potential this year in about half the games. So this Dallas defense, are they really as good as they've been touted, or are they starting to show that they're a thinly veiled unit that is starting to struggle? Deron Bland, who was looking like an MVP candidate, is now starting to struggle. He's starting to fall off a little bit. So we'll see. He had a bad game. Can he rebound in Week 14? That is the big question for the Cowboys. How does the defense respond to this game? In Seattle, it's tough, man. You guys are falling off a cliff right in front of us. Y'all were looking dominant for the first, half of the season, and now you're starting to fall your way out of the playoff picture. You're now, I think, out of the playoffs, below the Rams. It is bad for Seattle right now. You got to get some wins, and I don't see a lot of big, easy wins in your schedule coming up. Up next, let's just get this one over with. The Chargers beating the Patriots. Might as well have not won at all. 6-0. What else did we expect? Let's move on. Up next, we have the Detroit Lions finally getting back on track, beating the Saints 33-28. Now, Detroit came out guns a-blazing, 21 points in 7 minutes. First 7 minutes of the game. But then Detroit stopped playing with that energy. They stopped playing with the massive energy they had, and they basically let Atlanta stay back, or New Orleans stay in it. Now, the big thing for Detroit, they were clean. They had no turnovers, and that was one of the big things that was hurting them in these last couple games. So if Detroit can keep up the clean play, they have a very good case to be a strong team down the stretch. New Orleans, another tough loss. Losing Derek Carr once again sucks. Man, this season has just gotten derailed for the Saints in more ways than one. It's bad. Up next, offense need not apply for this game. The Atlanta Falcons beating the New York Jets by a whopping big-time score of 13-8. Defensively, this is a defensive showdown, and overall, not really much was gained on either side. It was bad. Okay, so we had the Arizona Cardinals beating the Pittsburgh Steelers. Entering injured is a reaction to that one, so make sure you check it out if you haven't already at the end card. So let's go ahead and move on now to the Carolina Panthers falling to the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, making them the first team eliminated from playoff contention in 2023. Final score 21-18, but Carolina looked good in the second half. They struggled the first half, but things started shifting and turning around for them. They have nothing to lose if they start winning games, so they're going to be playing with a lot of heart for the rest of the season. They want to show what they got, and they want to screw over Chicago. But Tampa Bay, this is a huge wake-up call for you. Yes, you're still in playoff contention, but if you're going to keep playing like this, you might as well not be in playoff contention. I mean, that was a bad game for you offensively overall. You didn't do much, and you struggled the whole game to get anything big going. So Tampa Bay, wake up or get out of the playoff picture, please and thank you. Up next, we had a big overtime thriller. The Indianapolis Colts beating the Tennessee Titans by a final score of 31-28. This is a great back-and-forth game for both teams. Indianapolis finding ways to win like a true winner. This team is getting dangerous. They're finding ways to win games that they really shouldn't be winning, and they are making it look easy for them. Tennessee, tough loss to take. Will Levis struggling with some accuracy, only being around 50%, but overall, other than the accuracy, he looked really good. So Will Levis is looking like he might be able to develop into a really good quarterback in this league if he can fix the accuracy issues that he was showing on Sunday. Up next, what else did we expect? The Miami Dolphins absolutely dominating the Washington Commanders, 45-15. Washington got dominated. They got owned. Yeah, they could have put up more of a fight, but it was gone from the minute the game started. Miami just absolutely beating down on the bad teams, as they always do, and making it look easy. Up next, we got the Denver Broncos taking on the Houston Texans in Houston. This game was a thriller. Houston started out dominating this one early, and they almost let Denver back in it. They really did let Denver back in it. They almost blew it, but they managed to clamp up when needed. That is the true grit of this Texans team, and they are, I like their playoff chances right now, personally. Their schedule the rest of the season doesn't look that difficult, and some of the teams ahead of them, like the Steelers, are starting to fall off. The Browns might be starting to fall off, too. So if those start happening, the Texans could sneak their way into the playoffs here and make some noise in the playoffs, which will be awesome to see from the rookie CJ Stroud. Denver, nice effort on a try to come back, but this ultimately could be what screws you in the playoffs because now Houston has the direct tiebreaker over you, which is going to suck if you end up having to face Houston for the 7th seed and you end up missing out. But overall, nice effort by Denver. Y'all are looking a lot better now than you did last year. Up next, we have the Cleveland Browns falling big time to the Los Angeles Rams, baby. Rams might have a chance, but really we don't because the Packers are going to start winning out. But anyway, the Browns falling 36-19. But overall, this was not a bad game for Cleveland. They did struggle in the second half. They blew wide open in the second half. But they held Kyren Williams significantly fewer than I thought. Like, Kyren Williams had way worse of a day than I thought he would have. Overall, and Joe Flacco looking really solid for his first time out since January of last year in a real game. He looked solid. He actually legitimately looked like he has a case to be a backup in the league, and it showed. I mean, he did well. He overall looked good against the Rams secondary. Now the Rams secondary isn't great, and that's one of the big takeaways for the Rams, that the secondary needs to be a bit stronger. But overall, Flacco looked good. Meanwhile, for the Rams, my biggest thing is I am concerned about the defense. This game put away all my offensive concerns. The last 2 weeks, as long as this offense stays healthy, they can make noise and hang with the big boys offensively. Defensively is the big question, though, because the defense is the weak point. If the defense can't stop anyone, then they're only going to go as far as that defense can stop, and it ain't going to be far. I'm telling you that. Up next, we have absolute domination in Philly. The Niners whooping the Eagles into last century, 42-19. Oh my gosh. That was bad. It was a national pantsing of Philadelphia at the hands of San Francisco, and they made sure Philadelphia knew that they would not have made a Super Bowl last year if Brock Purdy were healthy. Meanwhile, Philadelphia, it was bad. It was just flat out bad. You couldn't find a way to BS your way out of this one. But overall, y'all are still looking fine, but the playoff race is tightening significantly with your loss here. Now, the number 1 seed is wide open, and even the NFC East is wide open with the Cowboys. So you gotta start getting your act together if you want to secure the NFC East at the very least, and maybe even the number 1 seed. And last but not least, we have a game that, oh my gosh, what in the world happened? The Green Bay Packers at home beating the Kansas City Chiefs 27-19. Oh my gosh, Jordan Love is him. He looked absolutely amazing last night. Looking really great. Really just in every facet of the word. Looking amazing. Man, overall the defense did what they had to do. Now, Kansas City, tough loss to take, and it might very well put them out of the number 1 seed. But overall, the AFC is a weaker conference, so it is very possible for the Chiefs to muster their way in to the number 1 seed if they so choose and start playing like actually dominant football again. Alright, we have a wardrobe change for the last but not least game. I know I said last but not least before, but now this really is the last but not least. The Cincinnati Bengals somehow pulling off the insane upset of the Jacksonville Jaguars on Monday Night Football. That game was a blast. Jake Browning looked absolutely amazing. And I want to take a minute real quick. Huge shout out to every single one of you guys who came out for that stream because it was an awesome one. But anyway, the Bengals found their backup. Jake Browning looked absolutely amazing. 5 incompletions, 350 yards, and a touchdown. That speaks for itself. The Jaguars, you take a tough loss, but at the same time, you should still be fine because your schedule is relatively weak coming up. And you should get Trevor Lawrence back. I think if Trevor Lawrence doesn't get injured in the 4th quarter with that ankle injury, it didn't look great, but hopefully he comes back. But anyway, if he does not get injured, then the Jags win that game. No doubt in my mind. So really, Jacksonville, it was just a tough break for you guys. But overall, a great game played by Jacksonville. Great game, even more so, played by the Bengals. Bengals pull out the victory, and they reinsert themselves into the playoff picture. Alright, well that's about gonna do it for me today. If you guys did like, don't forget to smash like and subscribe as it helps me out a whole lot. It tells me that I'm making content that y'all enjoy and want to come back to keep on watching. And if you have not already, make sure you check out either my Panthers post-mortem video down here where I recap the Panthers 2023 NFL season, or check out Interginger's reaction to the Steelers and Cardinals game over here if you have not checked that out already. And with that, I will see you guys later. Peace out and have a good one.